about you, Mr. Dyer. Could you briefly tell us about yourself?
I'm Andrew Dyer. I'm the host and producer of a local cable television show called The Roundball Report. The Roundball Report airs on local cable television stations right here in PG County. It airs on CTV Channel 76, and we come on in Fairfax and Montgomery counties as well. And a total of about a million households. I've been doing the show since 1996, and as I talk to you backstage, it's taking a unique perspective. We give highlights to the local youth and high school basketball teams. We cover the colleges, we cover the big ones, Maryland, Georgetown, but we also give love to Bowie State and PG. I've known Coach Wiley for quite a while.
Okay.
And we get a chance to cover the Wizards. Haven't covered them as much this year, but we provide a unique perspective, and we've got a pretty consistent fan base.
Okay, Ms. Dyer?
My name is Darlene Dyer, and I work at WSA TV 9. And I've been in the television business now for about 17 years. I actually started out in marketing, came to Prince George's Community College and got my associate's degree in communications, and switched over to television. And then I actually had an internship here, and that led to my first position in television over at CTV 76. And I was there for 5 years and then moved to Channel 9, and I've been there for the last 12.
Okay, first question for you, Mr. Dyer. What was it that made you want to be a sportscaster?
Actually, in reality, it's been a natural passion of mine since I was the age of 7. My father used to call me Stat Man because I had a natural penchant for retaining and relating statistics.
Okay.
I actually, through my wife, who actually had the courage to chase her dream, once she got at CTV, she was the director of programming and public access. She's the one that encouraged me to use the talent because she knew all I did was sit around and watch sports the entire day. And she got me involved doing some smaller scale things. We used to run the Midnight Basketball League, and we used to do we turned that into a game broadcast. And I started doing, I did American University Radio, Bowie State football on TV, CIAA tournament, things of that nature. And then I came up with the concept of the Roundball Report in 1996. And Darlene was the one who ushered that in, and even when she left to go to Channel 9 as a labor of love, she still directs her husband's show on a weekly basis.
Okay, to you, Ms. Dyer, what is looked for in a newscaster?
What is looked in for a newscaster is basically a passion for writing, a passion for getting the story right, a very competitive edge as far as trying to be first, and always being accurate in your details.
Okay, what courses do you recommend for a student to take and prepare for newscasting or sports?
Any type of writing courses and any type of speech communication courses. When I was here at Prince George's Community College, I did participate on the forensics team and the debate team, and I actually went around to many meets with them, and that was very beneficial for me.
Okay, Mr. Dyer, what's a typical day like for you?
In terms of, now I do it as an avocation. I have a full-time job with the federal government, and that's what I was saying is that my wife is doing it as a full-time career, and as I talked to you backstage, by the time that I got established and it was known that I had a potential to make a career at it, I had already established a certain level within my daytime career where I could not afford to come back and do this full-time. So, but in terms of the day of production, I coordinate. I have a coordinating producer that schedules the guests. We've been doing it about 12 years, so we don't have to spend as much time on the pre-production. We've established rapport with our media guests because our basic format is field stories covering games and studio guests. Okay. We kind of do it like an inside the old NBA inside stuff perspective. So we get the show prepared, and then I kind of roll through it and get the production done. We do what they call live to tape, and we get it done. Very rarely, if ever, have to stop. We tape it on Monday evenings, and it airs on Wednesdays and Fridays in the various venues.
Okay. For you, Ms. Dyer, I hear that the television industry is downsizing and moving towards fewer producers, more trained professionals. If the three major areas of television, like producers, announcers, and camera operators, would like to go out, would you suggest budding talent to spend more time working in all three areas or any particular area?
Well, at this point, I would suggest being a multi-person. When I first got into the business, you had to know how to do everything. You had to produce, you had to write, you had to be able to shoot, you had to be able to direct. So it's really moving back to that era now because now they have reporters which are called one-man band reporters.
Okay.
And basically they go out and cover the story by themselves. They'll write the story, shoot the story, and then they'll use their laptop to beam the story back in. So now it's going back to the way that it was where you had to know how to do everything.
They want to add on to that?
Well, as you said, they're no longer called reporters. If you notice, they call themselves digital correspondents
Okay, yeah.
because of the
I've seen that.
multimedia aspect. So in the past, the more you could do was not have been as advantageous. But now, in this climate where they're looking, the cream is rising to the top, so the more you can do, the greater your chances of being successful and sustaining a career in the industry.
For you, have you ever had a story or topic that ever like impacts you very like?
If you guys are a little bit young, but back when Chris Webber played here with the Bullets/Wizards, I had established a pretty good rapport with him because I was already grown, had children, and a lot of times people see a young superstar athlete because they got millions of dollars. People just revere them and hold them up to a higher standard. And Chris had gotten into trouble in some things in this area, and there was, and actually kind of the thing that ran him out of town is got charged with the inappropriate incident with a young lady, and I happened to have inside information about how the story was not going to be substantiated. Everybody had gone and sensationalized it, but we held that information. We interviewed Chris, and after he got ran out of town, the only interview he gave to us, the only interview he gave to anyone in this area was to our show because I told him he used poor judgment, but we didn't sensationalize it. We didn't convict him before all the evidence came out. And by stepping aside and not running to that rush to judgment, I formed a relationship that gave us an exclusive that no one else had.
Okay, well, thank y'all for your time. We'll see you later in the Q&A session. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Radio has come a long, long way. And although newspapers offered the public next-day reports, the immediacy of news was welcome news when radio came about. But radio didn't just offer news, it transformed politics and provided entertainment for listeners. In the early 1900s, AM radio was discovered, and years later in 1933, FM radio was invented. Radio evolved from crystal sets, vacuum tubes, or y'all might know them as those big old radios that you will see in your grandparents' house, to transistor radios, satellite, and now we have internet radio. Now, from WPGC 95.5, please welcome DJ Flex. DJ Flex, could you briefly tell us about yourself?
I am supposed to be on the radio right now.
Right.
But anybody just really interested and has a passion in what I do, thought it was really important to come down here. Rain can hold it down by herself.
Shout out to Rain.
So I've been doing the home team show now for 8 years. So I've grown up with a lot of people. I am now the assistant program director of the radio station as well. And I still DJ clubs and parties and stuff. So we're still on the grind. I'm still grinding like I'm a teenager. You know, okay. The days are long. Most of the days are 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., but it is what it is. I got something I'm trying to gain right now, so I got to grind it out and do what I got to do.
Okay, DJ Flex. How you come up with that name?
I give you the fake reason I always say is because I'm very versatile. Okay. And I can do what I want to do, but the real reason is they used to call me Flex because years ago I could jump in the air and put my legs over my shoulders and walk around on my hands.
You can do that now for us?
Hell no.
All right, being a radio personality, how many times have you heard you don't look like how you sound?
All the time.
All the time?
All the time. They say they expect me to be an obese, dark-skinned man. That's what I hear.
Yeah. How are topics on the radio chosen? Like this session?
A lot of our topics are driven by what's going on. Whether it be some artist that lunched out and got locked up, or whether it's something going on where somebody got murdered and we need to shine a spotlight on the community. it's kind of driven on a current affair.